I'm not even sure what the hell is going on. I'm supposed to know everything. I don't know. Let's see. PodTrack is moving up and down. Streamlabs is moving side to side. I guess it's time to kick this pig. Welcome to the Bottom Glass Nation Show. We got a great show for you tonight, Saturday, March 29th. 2025, 5 minutes after 6 o'clock Los Angeles time. Why? Because that's what time we go on. Now, we've only got an hour before the black helicopters track us down. We're no longer on the road. No. We're in the bunker. KGXT Studios, 200 feet below occupied California. That means we got about an hour. Yeah. Once they get it, we're fucking done. So if you're going to get caught, drink the entire time. That's my suggestion. When you get caught, be as drunk as possible because you know that life is better when you're drunk. You're over there looking. Now, I got to tell you right now, we have a problem. We have a camera issue, so you get this. This is the side-by-side version of Gen X Mom, Your Majesty the Queen, and myself. And this I just took this. This is what she's wearing. This is how she looks. Beautiful as ever. But it's just going to be this picture. But never fear, her lovely voice will be penetrating your ears very shortly. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
See, she's here. I'm not making up. She's not tied up in the basement.
Are you not accepting tips tonight?
Oh, for God's sakes, am I not? I don't know.
Well, Trippy just wanted to know.
Why, is Trippy going to put a tip in there? No. What does he care? All right, let's see. There is the jar. Did the jar?
And Becca said she didn't get smoke signals.
I sent smoke signals. I did. Now, if you didn't get smoke signals, you're not part of Patreon. Good moderators on channel can put up the link for Patreon. It's $1.
Trippy says he has a tip.
Don't gamble in Vegas.
Put up the tip jar.
Here's a tip. Put up the tip jar. That's a good tip. It don't fit the tip jar, but it's a good tip. All right. Do you have anything else before I start with my show?
Yes. Thursday. We weren't here on Thursday.
No.
It was Elizabeth Ansar's birthday.
Elizabeth Ansar.
Yes.
She used to call me handsome.
And tomorrow
is
Nana A is celebrating 59 laps around the sun tomorrow.
No, she's not that old. I've seen pictures of her.
Well, then she lied.
She lied. Yeah. You know, we were getting along so good, and then you lied like that. You just had to. Couldn't stop yourself. All right.
That's my
That's your story, and you're sticking to it?
Oh, yes.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. Everybody's going to put the cats out, let the dogs in, grab your adult beverage, dim the lights, pull the drapes, settle back into your easy chair, your recliner, or even if you have a big Barca lounge, that's what we need you to do. Now,
do they still make those? Barca loungers?
I don't know. What was the one we
Lazy
had
boy?
from Grandma that was, she called it by name? Oh, I'm sorry. The Davenport.
Oh, the Davenport.
The Davenport. We don't call it a sofa. It's not a couch. You can sit over there on the Davenport. I'm like, what the fuck is a Davenport? Anyway, so, so the reason I say put the cat out, let the dog in, cats don't like the show, dogs seem to, and that's where we settle in. But everything has to have a beginning. It's better to start at the very beginning, like Mary Poppins always says in some magical voice, start at the very beginning. What is it? What does she say? Start at the very beginning. It's a great place.
Start at the very beginning.
It's a
very good place to start.
Yeah, okay. I was close.
When you read, you begin with ABC.
Okay, I got it. I was paraphrasing, okay? Just paraphrasing Mary P. Just like I've been paraphrasing Mike P. all day today.
I need a Davenport.
You gotta go. Would you like to do the show reclined on a Davenport?
I need a Davenport.
You know what I think I just picked? As soon as you said that in that voice, you know what I thought of?
What?
When the girl took off all her clothes in Titanic and laid on that couch for the picture.
Of course you did.
Was she on a Davenport?
Probably.
Okay. Just need to get you a big blue sapphire. We're ready to go. All right.
Oh, there's 2 different live streams on YouTube, according to Deb Ninehouse.
Oh, is there? That's weird. Are they on 2 different YouTube channels?
I don't know.
Now, you know why I went to all that trouble to see if this would work? You want a true story on this one? I'll tell you a true story right now, real quick, before we kick the show off. If we are actually on 2 different YouTube channels, one is Gen X Talks. Deb, if it's true, go look. Is the other one on Gen X Talks a lot?
It just says Gen X. I have a screenshot of both. It says Gen X Talks, X Talks.
And I think the other one is Gen X Talks a lot.
I don't know. Trippy may confirm.
Trippy will go sort this out because now Trippy's radar went off. If it worked, I'm not saying it did. I'm saying we were trying something. I did this for St. Donna.
Trippy says it's on the same channel.
How could on the Earth could we have two streams on the same channel?
Trippy knows more than anybody here.
How could we have two streams on the same channel?
I don't know. I told you something was weird going on when I couldn't get on. You said you pinned it, and I'm like, I don't see nothing.
Well, that's, and I'm saying because the other one we were trying to do, Gen X Talks a lot for St. Donna. Now, St. Donna's might be watching, going, why would you do that for me? I don't even know what you're talking about. Please, St. Donna, let me explain. All right, sweetheart.
He's lost his marbles.
I have not lost my marbles.
Yes, you have.
We do want to gain new viewership by going vertical on YouTube. But like Mrs. Ford did not like our shows.
Absolutely not.
She hated it. She goes, please, please, please quit going vertical. I like it the other way. Then St. Donna came along because we started. Mrs. Ford was no longer with us. So I began to breach the contract and go vertical. And St. Donna, because I just don't like it vertical. I don't prefer that. So we kept it widescreen horizontal.
Bud wants to know, which one do you drink on? That's how he's determining.
He just wants to. Well, but there's two channels, so you got two screens. You put a drink in each hand, lefty, righty, righty, tighty, lefty, loosey, and it would go with that. That never fails. But St. Donna, for her, if we could go on Gen X Talks a lot and go vertical, we could gain the viewership over there and not have to worry about her being upset.
Wow, the bottom of the glass nation is very anti-vertical.
Yeah. So see what I'm doing. You see what? Thank St. Donna. Because I have not oppressed any of you in the vertical fashion. No. Been very good about that. But people of the good ship, hear me speak.
Yeah, Trippy's freaking out because it's two different lives and chats going on.
Well,
you're having him work double time.
I'm not. I'm just saying that it's supposed to be on Gen X Talks a lot.
That kid needs a raise.
Then he can work on the roof. If Trippy needs a raise, put him on the roof. Listen, what I'm trying to say is it's supposed to be on two different channels, just as a test run tonight. That's all. So, if it's two live streams on Gen X Talks, then that's a problem. We don't want to do that, which it might be. I don't know, but we were trying to use a stream key and a URL from the other one to do it with loose instructions to see if it would work. And the attempt is so that St. Donna and her loyal following of anti-vertical extras, which includes most of you, wouldn't have to suffer through the vertical streaming. Do you understand? Good. Glad you're coming along with me on that one. Now, back to what I was saying. Hydrate. Got to drive tomorrow. Long drive. All right. Now, I need to summarize something for you here. Just to get past the bullshit and get caught up. So we'll get to that in just 1 minute. But you guys, we talked about AI a lot, and we talked about some of the things that AI is good at, and AI chat GPT and stuff is good at, and what they're not good at. And then you get when Generation X gets involved in AI and they pour themselves into it, they really dive into it. They can craft some cool shit with AI. And what in the typical brain of a Gen Xer like myself, they turn the AI back on social media. They point that high-powered cannon right back at where it came from. And so this Gen Xer came up with some stuff. He refined it, and he came with some stuff that I think we can all appreciate through AI. And just a Gen X guy turning the power of perception of AI back on the social media. And when you ask it to describe PayPal, this is the logo that AI eventually came up with. I think that's great. And this isn't my invention. This was given to me. But you see how I looked and thought, okay, so the one person is carrying the other person because they're pals, but the one being carried has all the money coming out of his pockets. And I went, that's PayPal. PayPal's with you. PayPal helps you. PayPal helps you pay things and transfer money and get money around the planet where it needs to go. But it takes a fee, so PayPal gets rich, and we all carry PayPal. I thought that was pretty accurate. Well done, Gen X. What's another one? Now, this one, I have to admit, I had to go look up. I didn't understand the terminology. I didn't understand the title, so it was hard for me to get the reference. But I looked it up. I spent a little time because I am a trained broadcast professional, and there's no lengths I won't go to for you folks to make sure that I have a complete understanding of the subject material. AI pointed back and described Pornhub. And I went, what? what is this you say? And you do a little, I went to Wikipedia and read a little couple articles on that. And then you look at this with the AI coming back on that with Gen X pointing the way. Again, not mine. Someone else did this, not mine. And it's got the hand locked in there. That's like their symbol. That's the just like the PayPal described it accurately. I got to tell you, this can be an addiction for some people. Okay. It can be a heavy, hardcore addiction that locks you down and changes your life for the worse, and you can't get out. That is not a lie. That is a true statement. I knew a guy one time who called me one day. We were like in our 20s, and we lived states and states apart, probably 1,000 miles apart. And he was trying to change his life for there, but there's a true story. He called me and says, this is way before the internet, by the way. He goes, I just threw out all my porn magazines. And I said, okay. He goes, I put them in the trash can right before the trash truck got here, and I watched him dump them and drive away. I said, why'd you do that? He goes, I just thought it was distracting my life, bringing me down. I needed to get rid of that. I needed to cut that out. And I said, how'd you feel? He goes, I cried. He goes, I must have had 700 magazines and I cried. I go, how do you feel now? He goes, I feel better. So even back in that day of the magazines, I think there was something to be said about that. Having a chain on part, dragging you down, locking you in. They're just saying, again, Generation X, taking the high-powered perception of AI, pointing it back at social media. Well done there. All right, here is another one, and I got this, which brought up a question that I've been thinking about pretty much my whole life. A chastity belt with a lock on the front representing OnlyFans. And I think that the key to that should have been a $ or a credit card. Shing, shing, wouldn't you say? Swipe the credit card instead of a key. But I get what they're saying. There maybe AI couldn't go that in depth. It wasn't a quarter slot like a video arcade machine. Okay, I'm with you on that. But as much as I enjoy the perception of this turned back on itself, I get it. It brought to mind a question for my entire life. Chastity belts, weren't they like a heavy metal and kind of riveted together, pounded together thing that the blacksmith had to make, and then big girls had big ones and skinny girls had small ones, and they had the lock on it, but wasn't the only guy in town, wasn't the only guy in the whole castle, wasn't the only guy in the whole kingdom with a key to every single one of these, the blacksmith? I mean, I'm just saying, if you're wearing one of these and you end up pregnant, I think we got to go after the blacksmith. If 90 babies in town come out while the men are all at war and they all look like the blacksmith, I'm just saying, that was brought to mind. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm just a dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert. What do I know? But wouldn't it be true that the blacksmith had the key to every one of these? Wouldn't you make another key? And even if you got caught with the spare key, go, whoa, of course I have a spare key. I made one in case you lost yours. I wasn't gonna, Okay, I don't know, maybe it's too long on that one. And the last one we have there, too, this makes more sense to Gen Xers than probably anybody else. The old Nokia phone. Using it to fend off arrows and flames. And does that not make sense to every? Now, I love this. I don't know how the Generation X guy guided the AI to this, but it's pretty accurate, in my humble opinion. Just to let you guys know that. That's a thing. It's a real thing. It makes sense to me. If it doesn't make sense to you, well, drink more. If you drink more, everything I'm saying is going to come crystal clear. It's all going to make sense. It'll all fall in place. And if you drink a lot, after the show is over, you will go out on your front lawn and scream at your neighbor at 2 a.m. That guy knows his shit, because that's the way it'll seem. I think that's important. It's a very symbiotic relationship. If I'm going to tell lies, it's important you drink and believe them. All right? You're part of this just as much as I am. All right, moving on. So what I was going to tell you about, and this is a kind of a 3-part thing here, it does become a little bit important. There's something, kind of a public service announcement I'd like to say before I begin this particular story, before I begin this particular segment. It is a proven statistical fact that 25 of the women in the United States are on some form of medication for mental and emotional illness. 25%. It's a proven statistic. Just a known fact. that means that 75% of you are running around untreated. A sexist would say, as I borrow from Greg on that. For those of you that know, you know. So moving on with that, just there's a couple things that you can get a little bit serious, but there is a little bit of humor in this. If you are dealing with a lot of things as the husband, as the father, and your family doesn't appreciate how much you're dealing with, all the wolves you're fending off, all the decisions you're trying to make to keep your family moving forward, to keep things going how they're supposed to keep it all together financially, emotionally, mentally, in the structure. If your family doesn't appreciate that, you have a tendency to go, well, let me share that with them. But you can't. Can you imagine if you're there, if you're emotionally and mentally and leading your wife? Okay, let's say you're just married, no kids. Let's just say it's a wife. And you're leading her down this thing. Road is challenging. Road is hard. You're buying, you're doing, you're selling, you're working, you're producing, you're saving, you're trying to get, and you're doing all this, and she doesn't think that your job's difficult. If you let her in and show her all the shit you're going through to say, look at all the shit I'm going through, it'd scare the hell out of her. She'd never get another good night's sleep. She would sit there curling up in the blankets every night going, do you really got this? I had no idea you were going through all this. Oh, shit. Oh, I didn't know it was so bad. So you can't share that. As a man, you can't go, let take a peek behind the curtain. You see how bad it is? You see how scary it is? This is what I deal. You can't do that. You want to, so they really appreciate your effort as the guy, but you can't. Because if you show them all that, they're scared shitless, and it never goes away. And every day they're going to go, are you okay? Do you got this? It looks shitty. It looks scary. It looked like a tidal wave. Are we going to be every day? So you can't do that. But you want to do that because you want to tell them, hey, look, I'm taking care of this. But you can't convince them because they can't see it. So men are caught in a catch-22. Now, thankfully, my wife gave me a way out of all that. Yeah. So my wife looks at everything we're doing, and a few days ago, she decides to change my plans. And remember, I'm navigating for the future. I'm navigating to try to get us around the world and get to there. And she's like, this can't be that hard. I'm taking over, more or less. So she takes over and thinks this is what she's taking over. She goes, you know what? It doesn't look that hard. What you're doing doesn't look that big a deal. I'm going to take this over. And I said, you know what? Fuck it. If you think what I'm doing is easy, grab the wheel, sweetheart. Go ahead. And I just sat back and shut off. You do it. Go ahead. So she grabs the wheel thinking she's going to be on this sailboat, sailing along, sun, and my girl loves the ocean, so she's thinking this is perfect. The problem is, the very moment she grabbed the steering wheel from me to try to take over, I could do what you're doing. I got all this. You know, things came out of nowhere that she wasn't prepared for. When she grabbed the wheel, she grabbed it at this moment right here. And the second she did, she was, take it back. I'm like, no, you fucking wanted the wheel. You do it. Go ahead. Steer the car. No. I couldn't have shown her this had she not grabbed the wheel. So I was a little bit reluctant, to say the least. Kind of like, no, just leave my wife there sitting in turmoil. That sounds like a good place for her. But I couldn't because someone intervened. Unfortunately, my wife has an older brother, the Sun Valley Fox. And he stepped in and he looked at me and said, all right, what do you need? I said, what do you mean? What? He goes, look, chicks, man, chicks. I got you. And my sister can be dingy and stubborn. She's not as bad as the other sister. You did get the good sister. What do you need from me? I said, wait, are you offering a bribe? Are you offering some sort of payment or restitution? He goes, look, man, I'm not responsible for this chick. I didn't raise her, but I'm the patriarch of the family. What do you need? I said, well, what are you offering? Sun Valley Fox says, well, if you got projects you need done, I'm your guy. And I thought, man, do I got projects I need done? I really do. Very generous for him to step in there. I said, how do you feel about helping me install 700 yards of fencing? He got real quiet and just mumbled a little bit. So, how about portable generators from 1979? We need to rebuild the whole thing and scrape off the carbon, tear the whole thing down. Big, ugly mess in your nice, clean garage. And he mumbled a little bit. I said, wait a minute. Wait, I'm sorry. How are you with quadrajet carburetors? We metering rods, and he's just, now he's scratching his head. I said, okay. I said, how about we go down in July and help my cousin re-roof his house in Arizona in July? How do you feel about helping out there? Now, I got to be honest with you. He didn't back out of the agreement. But as I was talking on the other end of the phone, I didn't really get how he was looking and thinking until St. Donna, who was also listening in, sent me a picture, and his whole attitude was, holy shit, what have I done? I don't think 700 yards of fencing, quadrajet carburetors, and roofing in July, I don't think his sister's worth it. He says, you know what? Never mind. You're on your own. But he didn't say that. No, he didn't say that. So as he's struggling with his commitment to bond his sister and I in holy matrimony again, which he did, bliss has fallen upon us. We're in good shape, thanks to the Sun Valley Fox. We started loading up. And I'm telling you, Mike Perkins and Briggs and I loaded up every shitty project that I've been collecting around this property for the past 20 years. And we're bringing it, baby. We are bringing it. And why? Because the Sun Valley Fox was such a gracious and diligent man. He was a loving and kind older brother who stepped in, put on his red cape, and said, I will help out. Now, his red cape was made out of some velvet material that they used back in the Knights of the Round Table day. I don't know where he got it. I'm kind of thinking that King Arthur actually gave it to him when he knighted. There's stories of him and Lancelot charging into battle in full gear back in the day. So just letting you know that everyone appreciates the Sun Valley Fox helping us out with that, getting us along in life and putting his needs behind others, especially his sisters. It was a good thing. What do you think about that, honey? Was that nice of your brother?
Very nice.
Wasn't he a nice man?
Yes, he's also letting you know that the other channel is the Sun Valley Fox Nation show on the channel. He's just informing everybody that.
So you know the part the part you were happy about today was that 20 years of unfinished projects of mine around the house are now going to his house. And you don't have to look at me and go, are you ever going to fix this? Can we just sell this? No. No.
Great.
Sun Valley Fox. Hooray. So that's how that went, just so you guys know.
My brother is the best.
He is. I mean, what a generous offer. I mean, I wouldn't even have done the 700 yards of fencing, let alone the roofing in July in Phoenix. No. But your brother gives, never takes. What a great guy. I think we should all raise a glass and drink right now to the Sun Valley Fox and his generous giving nature, because he has signed on for more manual labor than 50 dudes standing outside of a Home Depot waiting for someone to put the number 2 up in the air and jump in the back of a pickup truck.
Okay, let me see what I've got over here. They're saying hydrate, General.
Hydrating!
I know. Brent went fishing on YouTube is a member for 17 months tonight. I didn't get smoke signals. Saw it on Facebook.
I sent smoke signals.
I'm just saying.
I sent them personally.
Midnight Gaming is celebrating 34 months on YouTube. And if you crash, get out and start drinking, because they can't prove when you started. Man, I crashed and had to calm my nerves. Officer, I wasn't drinking beforehand, I promise.
That's a great idea. If you crash your car, just get out and grab a beer. And when they say, were you drunk driving? No. I just started drinking after I crashed, officer. That's brilliant. That needs to go in my personal playbook, page 94.
Nana A is celebrating 29 months on YouTube tonight. Good evening, Bottom of the Glass Nation, and happy birthday to Nana.
Thank you.
And Spot and Stock You, $1.99. Where's the hoe?
Okay, the jar is there. I don't know if I can make the jar bigger for you folks. Let's see if it's going to let me.
Yeah, Jeremy B says smoke signals did get sent. Oh,
Yeah.
He said got sent.
They did get
Jason
sent.
did.
I know.
Mine come late, too, just so you know.
I sent them a half an hour before the show. I do it all the time. Very faithful to you guys on Patreon. Just so you know, it's a true story. Not even true, it's a story. All right, now we don't have the chingaderas up here. I'm surprised Trippy's not blowing up my phone going, turn on the fucking jar. There it is. Let's see if I can grab it again. Maybe I can. Having trouble grabbing the jar. Ladies and gentlemen, the jar does not want to be groped tonight. I'm trying to grope the jar and it won't let me. Excuse me, I'm looking one more time. There's the jar. All right, I grabbed the jar. I will try when it's on screen. I'll do it one more time for you fine folks. You are my fine feathered friends. And there it is. There's the jar with one subscriber in there. All right, going back to the picture section. Where was I? I had stuff to say. So we got through
You always have stuff to say. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean mics were hot.
Yeah, mics were hot. What are you talking? You just said that in front of my friends.
Sorry.
You're not even a little bit. You don't look sorry. You know what you look like right now? I wish we had a camera on you. Do you remember Alice in Wonderland?
Yes.
Do you remember that pink and purple Cheshire cat that was in the tree with the big smile?
Yes.
That's what you look like when you say comments like that. You are the is it Cheshire or Cheshire?
Cheshire.
It's a British thing, isn't
Cheshire.
it? Cheshire?
There you go.
Cheshire.
Yeah, don't work it too much.
No.
Just say it.
Don't work it too much. Oh, the dirty thoughts that went through my head. Don't work it too much. I'm trying not to.
Kristen Hartman said, General, if I was closer, I could have your fence in. When I was a kid, my dad had us build miles of fence.
Yeah, the fencing's going to be a little tough. We'll see how that goes.
We should have a Bottom of the Glass Nation fence party.
Yeah. Okay, everybody want to show up and put in a fence and see how fast we'll get all the stuff out there and see how fast we can do it.
Noel for $2, Geronimo, he said.
There we go. $2 for the $2 hole. We'll see what jumps in there. Also, if we did a fence building party, Sun Valley Fox could bring his John Deere lawnmower and we could hang out with us. You could ride that thing around. Oh, all the $2. Okay, I got to do something for you folks because the $2 hoe is getting bounced out. So what we'll do is we'll go over here real quick and we'll go to Streamlabs.
While you're talking the Disney kids dropping $2, let's find the hoe. Dorathy gave $2. Show us the cheap garden tool.
Okay, I just cleared the jar. Now watch before the Facebook invisibility stuff gets in there.
Oh, they guessed who it is already.
Here, how could they? We didn't even see the face yet.
Yeah, I was able to see it. They already picked it.
I haven't. Oh, my God. All right. I'm not talking to you folks yet. All right. Where was I? I had stuff to get to. So we covered, what did we cover? We covered the AI pointing the perception back at social media. We covered my wife's grabbing the steering wheel and handing it back. We covered the Sun Valley Fox intervening at an almost imminent level.
I wonder who has more viewers, the Sun Valley Fox Nation or the Bottom of the Glass Nation?
I don't know. You guys said we were on the same channel. Now, are we or aren't we?
There's two channels. We have some viewers over on that one, and we have some viewers on this one.
So we are on Gen X Talks a lot live. We're not.
Or two channels of Gen X Talks. You have two live streams going.
Okay, I don't know how to. Sun Valley Fox just going to go, whichever one's got more viewers, that's mine. That's the one I'm on.
Brad Baker dropped $5. Mike Perkins is the working girl.
Mike Perkins is the working girl.
He's what do we call it? The Flying J 10-cent lot lizard.
I got to tell you today, Mary Mathis and your queen. We were all in the living room. My daughter was there, Briggs was there, Mike Perkins was there. And all of a sudden, these two start laughing like they're going to pee their pants. They're laughing so hard they're going to fall out of the chairs. And I looked over. I mean, it stopped everyone else from talking. I said, "What are you laughing at?" And apparently, Mary Mathis had dubbed herself today the 10-cent Flying J gas station lot lizard. I don't know why. I mean, I thought the $2 whore was something. And she goes, no, the Flying J's are gas stations. I don't know if they're all over everywhere, but they're all over Southern California. And the Flying J gas station, I am the 10-cent lot lizard. And then Mike Perkins Venmo'd her 10 cents. Which he beat me to it because that's what I was going to do. I was going to, you're the 10-cent lot lizard? Boop, 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 boop.
That was pretty funny.
I didn't get to it fast enough. Mike beat me to it. But I was right there with him. I knew what he wanted.
I told her I was going to make her a shirt that said that.
The 10-cent lot lizard?
Yeah,
the Flying J.
Because she stops there all the time. That would be so funny.
Well, she got to work up some money for gas. You got to get her hustle up some gas money. Although 10 cents that'd take you a long time.
Well, I think she's the OG, man.
You got to tell her it's not 1962 anymore. You need to change your rates. All right.
Inflation.
Yes. Inflation on so many levels. What was I going to say?
I don't know. Eric Leroy is celebrating 33 months over on YouTube.
Wasn't Eric Leroy that used to say, change the date on your calendar? Wasn't he the guy who did that for like 2 years?
I do not recall.
I think it was.
The Disney Kid is celebrating 34 months, just dropping by to say this is the best bar ever. Google research helped me find this 4 years ago.
Yeah, well, you know, we are in the depths and the annals of the Google library.
All right.
It's going to be part of the annals of something, I guess. Okay. I'm clicking on this. I keep clicking on it, and she starts talking again. As soon as I click on the picture, she starts talking. I have to click the picture off.
But now this is funny. Callie Cat goes, I'm the Circle K hooker. Wow, everybody's got a title.
So this one says, right, this is an old manual from back in the day. It's a real manual. And the title of it says, if the front page says, this is not the cover, it's the first page. If no one comes from the future to stop you from doing it, then how bad can it be? I think I'm upset that I haven't had this manual in my back pocket my entire life. So many times from 5 years old with my mother, Mom, look, I know you're upset about what I'm thinking here, but if it was that bad, somebody from the future would have already come and stopped me. So it can't be that bad. All the way into my teenage dating years. Honey, come on. If it was really that bad, someone from the future would have come and stopped us by now at this drive-in movie theater. Or even as of late, doing some things and turning to my wife and saying, whoa, if it was that bad of an idea, somebody from the future would have already stopped me by now. They've already appeared and made sure this shit didn't happen. They would have Sarah Connored me right now. Nobody's stopping me. Apparently, I'm not that bad off. Let's continue. I'm just saying, I need to find this manual, and believe me, when I do, and I find the source, all of you guys out there, I will give you the link, because this will be the best $5 we've all ever spent. Okay, now look, I don't mean to pick on Florida, but this was sent to me. It's a sign put up in a bathroom in Florida. Now, if you're having trouble reading, it says, please do not use the toilet like this. Thank you. And it's a good thing when I received this picture, I was fucking drinking. Because number one, this person is dressed. So I'm going to say yes. Don't stand on the toilet fucking dressed. There's one. Number two, if this is a guy, how are you gonna piss or shit like this anyway? How would you do that? Was a guy just a little rainbow fountain would come out right over the front of it? No guy would stand on it like this. If it's a chick, it could be a girl. I don't know. I'm just saying. If this is a girl, and from what I know, I haven't watched girls pee my whole life, but it doesn't seem like this would be a conducive angle for a chick to go to the bathroom, even if this person wasn't wearing pants. But again, Florida. I don't know what the fuck you guys are thinking. I don't get it. I don't know. There's one more. Don't worry. We didn't hammer them all night tonight. We're not staying on Florida. Just two things. But again, this was sent to me from Florida. Taken right off of a shelf. Not of a, no, not of a supermarket. One of those local gas station, bayou, hillbilly, alligator-infested swamp bayou places that doesn't have any electricity. And this was on the shelf. Are you reading that? They don't call it ketchup. No. There's mustard and there's red mustard.
No, there's yellow mustard and red mustard.
Okay, yellow mustard. I stand corrected, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I stand corrected. My wife has corrected me. She had objection. Sustained. Yellow mustard and red mustard.
Sounds logical.
How the fuck does that sound logical? This you
Why there's green sauce and red sauce for salsa. There's brown mustard, yellow mustard, and red mustard.
Because those aren't mustard seeds. That's not a big. You don't pluck a mustard fruit off the tree and go, I'm going to squeeze this into some red mustard. No. Ketchup. Tomatoes make ketchup. Tomatoes don't make mustard. But in Florida, tomatoes make red mustard. I don't know what's going on down there. I'm not trying to pick on Florida, but there's something going on down there. And now I'm picking on Florida. All right. This one is my own creation. This one stopped me dead in my tracks. This was actually up in Minden. So I got to look and see if this is a United States thing or if it's just a Nevada thing. And if it's not a Nevada thing, maybe it's local to Douglas County, or more specifically, old people that live in Minden. Okay? Sitting there having a little drink of my drink right there. I think I was drinking a root beer. Recycle bottle with the cap on. Why? Now to make sure the air's in there, so it's lightweight. If we weigh the bottles, that we don't get our fair share because we've ingested air into the bottle and trapped it? I'm just asking, why would they write that? Recycle the bottle with the cap on. No, I'm legitimately asking. Is you guys drinking right now? How many people right now looking at their bottle going, give me that fucking bottle over here. Let me see that cap. Shit, mine says it too. Does it? Where are you? Are you in Virginia? You Washington? Are you in Douglas County, Nevada? This is where I bought this from. This is what I was drinking. I'm just asking, does this make sense? Why? Why do you want to recycle with the cap on? John
Powell says not a Virginia thing.
Okay, so see, we're narrowing it down. 49 states to go.
Dorathy says the whole thing is recyclable.
Yeah, but why recycle with it? Why does it tell you?
Star Robert says to prevent litter, General.
Okay, I'd go along with that, I guess.
Staffio Nurse says more plastic, less mess.
I'm just saying, this recycling bottles now come with instructions.
Steffi Nurse says not in Michigan. Raven said not in New Jersey.
You see, we're knocking down the states as we go. Douglas County, Nevada, man. Something's wrong in Douglas County, Nevada. All right. Dome. I like this. We don't normally do reviews. I have not seen the new Snow White. I will probably not go see the new Snow White, but this popped up on my screen. I laughed so hard. I had to share this with you. And I don't go through and sharing reviews with you folks, but this one was great. You see what it says? This is a review of the new Snow White. It says, if I saw this movie on a plane, I would still walk out.
Oh my gosh.
If I saw this movie on a plane, I'd still walk out.
Wow.
Now,
she doesn't even look like Snow White.
That's a bad movie.
That's really bad.
If you're willing to walk out, I'm out of here. Now let me out of this theater. That's bad.
Wow.
All right. So I did get into a rational discussion that turned into an irrational discussion. And of course, it was with the younger generation. You guys had sent me something and it turned into be an argument. And I won't tell you where because it was an online discussion. But you guys had asked me what happened to these trikes. And they were younger viewers. They were millennials. And they said, we see some pictures of these, but they don't sell them anymore. And whatever happened to these? And I said, well, they were outlawed. They were banned because people were dying, breaking their necks, breaking their shoulders, breaking their collarbones, because when you turn, you topple over. Now, some of you may be old enough to even remember riding one of these one or two times. I did. Just a few times, not a lot, but I have been on these and convincing, like at campouts and stuff, and you take off. And yes, I don't think I ever got squirrely and fell off of one that I can remember. But after arguing with a bunch of millennials over this and saying, don't make them anymore, they're dangerous, you can't do it, can't ride it. You know what they said to me?
What?
They said, you ruined it, didn't you? Because you Gen Xers couldn't ride on one without hurting yourselves, they had to ban them. I really didn't have an answer for that. My first thought was, well, we get super crazy with everything we touch. So, yeah, we probably tried to light these things on fire and Evel Knievel it over a...
But we did get hurt on them, and then we learned how to ride them properly. All kinds of things. Like we fell off our bike. We'd lay there for a few minutes and then get back up and get, riding again. We didn't Then,
or your friends would have to come back for you and go, wait a minute. They never got off. They never caught back up with us after they crashed into the bushes on their bike. We better go back. And they'd go back and find you laying there going, hey, are you okay?
You learned how to ride it. If you fell off of it, you realized, let's not do that again.
Show of hands on the platforms where you are. Just put a little hand. If you've probably seen it if you've ever actually ridden one. Three-wheelers, they were back in the day. Three-wheeler ATVs are the only way you could get them. You couldn't even get them with four wheels. They didn't make them with four wheels. They all came this way. When they were first invented after the motorcycle, it was three.
Spineless Wonderboner says, I cracked my tailbone on one when it flipped on me.
Yeah, but flip well.
John Morgan goes, someone had to be the crash test dummy.
I guess it was us, our whole generation. So the boomers made these and gave them to Gen X and said, here, try this.
Shoeless one said, I learned at the age of 5 on a Honda ATC 90.
Yeah, And boomers made this. They gave it to Generation X to test drive. After a few years, boomers were standing there with their clipboards going, no, they're fucking this all up. We better put 4 wheels on. Come on, recall all these other ones. Go to 4 wheels. This isn't working. Way to go. Thank you, boomers.
Hobo Rob says, up until high school, we still had one on the dairy farm.
I know these things still exist. They're out there. They're still on farms where they just putt around and Farmer John stuff. That's fine, but there was this discussion came up because you can't buy them anymore. You can't buy 3 wheels anymore. They don't sell them and they don't offer them. You can't even order them this way. I don't think anywhere. And I tried to explain why. And I don't remember all the ins and outs. I remember they were sold for a while. People got hurt and died on it and they pulled them. That's the basics of what I remember. I don't know.
Weren't they easy to pop wheelies too on those?
Super
That's
easy.
Yeah,
light in the front. Now,
of course we had to pop a wheelie.
Here's something I have before you guys, this is a little bit political, kind of. You guys heard RFK just came out the other day, and he's got kind of an idea. He didn't say he was going to mandate it. He's pushing the idea. He's floating the idea of no more advertisements on TV about prescription drugs.
I'm all for that.
You are?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because so many people, I love how they race through all the adverse reactions to all of it. But people will sit there and they self-diagnose and then they go to their doctor and go, oh, I saw this on television. I need
I'm
this.
sorry. They went to their doctor, so they can't just go buy it.
Sometimes they can.
They have to go to their doctor and get a prescription. There's still a guardian at the gate.
Sometimes. What about Viagra? You can get Viagra you can call right now and get some. Now you don't have to. You can get birth control over the counter now. Birth control pills.
Okay. Well, listen, first of all, I cannot stand medicine ads, prescription ads. I can't stand it.
There's everywhere.
I hate it. There's just, and I'll tell you something that it harkened back to something someone told me years ago. It's kind of funny. Had some relatives visiting from out of the country. And so they're here and we're visiting us in Southern California in Los Angeles County. And they after a few days of being here, we got to talking about the differences from where they were, which is back in, I guess it was in London or Britain area. And they said there was 2 things they thought that were really funny. One was they said, your guys' freeway signs are stupid. And I said, why? He says, we put up a sign that says 45 miles till exit 9. The next sign you see says exit 9. You guys give a countdown. You guys go 10 miles to exit 9, 5 miles to exit 9, 1 mile to exit 9. Hey, half a mile to exit, 1/4 mile to exit 9. They thought that was absolutely hilarious that we had exit signs on our freeways counting it down in such small increments.
Our tax dollars at work.
Never seen anything like it. The other one, which pertains to this, they said, why do you guys have prescription ads on all the time on every channel? And I said, what do you mean? They said, this is their quote. This is the part that caught me off guard. My relatives from out of the country said, I would never presume to see a drug on TV and run to my doctor and say, can I have this?
Lots of people do.
I would never have the balls to tell my doctor what I think I want to need or try. I would not do it. I would never do that.
Big pharma. They make lots of money with that.
Well,
and I bet you it has something to do with whatever TV station is on there. If who's ever supplying their money or whatever, I bet you that's part of it.
It could be true, but what I'm saying is that they Americans do that. We will go to our doctor and go, hey man, I saw this shit on TV and I want to try it. Who are we? Why are we so arrogant that we think we can go to a doctor and go, I saw this shit on a commercial, man. Sounds good to me. Give me that fucking shit. And we do. I hate it. Now, let me back up. At the moment, there's a lot of momentum for this thing with RFK. And I want to tell you right now, I'm against it.
Why?
As much as I hate these commercials more than I hate any other commercial, how many shows will go off the air? How many networks will take a hit? News networks, especially media. Because if you watch news stations, and I'm not just talking Fox News, although they're a big one, CNN, MSNBC, they are all funded by Big Pharma and and drug ads all the time. And why can't they? You know what? I had to look it up. I had to go, okay, what is Kennedy coming at everyone saying, well, we should get these drugs off the television because why? What was his reason? His reason was, well, it influences people go out and then they just buy the certain one and they inflate the drug prices because they know you're going to come get it. So the prices, it affects the pricing for everybody, which I don't think it does at all. I don't think you could connect the dots and make it say that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see it.
I miss the fun commercials. Like, I was just thinking about those frogs, the Budweiser commercials.
Yeah.
Remember those, or the Doritos.
So it's okay to sell beer and have people go buy beer, but you can't do it with a drug? I'm just saying, it just seems un-American.
Oh, well, or maybe they can just bring it down a notch, because I think almost every commercial is drug-oriented.
It's so much so. I hate it.
It's like, you have to have these beet things, then you got to have these vegetables, then you got to have QQ10, and then you got to have magnesium, and then you've got to have, if everybody went out there and bought every single thing that they advertise, you would be a personal drugstore. It's ridiculous. I can't.
I'm just telling you, I can't see a way to say, sorry, we picked drugs and you can't advertise anymore. We picked cars. Sorry, no more. Car commercials are absolutely abhorring. No more car commercials. I'm just saying, it doesn't seem.
How did we ever function without drugs in this world?
I'm just pointing out, and I hate these ads more than all of you combined. I bet I can't stand it. I will press mute and wait for it to be over. I hate them so bad, or I will switch channels and come back.
That's why I read.
But I don't think you can legitimately go out there and go, no more drug ads. And look at all the TV shows. You guys, a lot of you watched. You guys watch legacy media, Fox News, CNN, whatever. Watch them. Watch NBC. Whatever show you're watching, if you're watching Gutfelder, you're watching Jesse Waters, you're watching Brett Baer, watch the commercials on their show. And if they're all drug commercials and these get banned, that show's off the air. Unless they can find someone that sees candy and Coca-Cola to pony up some bucks. There's a lot of money keeping a lot of programs out there. Now, maybe he could come in and say, and Kennedy, if your team's watching, I'm going to give you this one for free. I just thought of it right now. Generation Next, trying to help you out, buddy. Robert Kennedy, if your team's listening in, team's paying attention. How about if you're going to pass a law, don't ban it, make it a 20-second ad only.
Then why do we pay for subscriptions? Why do we pay for no ads?
What are you talking about?
You're saying that these medical or these pharmaceutical ads pay for the
shows. Yes, salaries, high salaries of everybody.
But
right.
we, as taxpayers, as persons, we are paying for a subscription to Spectrum or the cable.
Not through our taxes. We pay for that.
But why can't we not have ads? Because aren't we making it happen?
We are and we aren't. We pay for a cable. We pay for a cable. And you watch the ads. If you're on Spectrum and you watch all the channels, you're going to watch the ads, because the cable companies also get advertisement. There's different levels of how advertising works. If there is an ad on NBC during their primetime news, and they say this ad is going out everywhere for a certain amount of money, well, then also each affiliate gets a little bit of that money. Or there's open slots and say, okay, we're not for this 1 minute. You can put up whatever ad. If you have a local Dodge dealership and they want to sponsor the NBC News, in this 60 seconds, you can sell that 60 seconds to whoever locally you want. That doesn't go everywhere. That goes to them. Their advertising is broken up by blocks. And that's one of them. What I'm telling you is the people that put their money out there for the show and say, I'm going to sponsor the Brett Baer Fox News Hour, and I am Cialis, and I'm going to pay for Brett's salary, his camera crew, his lighting crew. I'm going to pay for that whole show, and my advertisement goes on 5 times an hour for 90 seconds every show, and I'll come up with different advertising for each one. Then they own that. And they pay for the whole show, and they pay for everybody's salary, and they get the limelight.
But didn't back in the day when we had television stations, there were still commercials on there?
Sure.
Why? I don't understand. Why? I think cable
back in the
TV
day,
is a scam.
It's different. Back in the day, we had, 7 channels? Uh-huh. And when you turned in, don't you remember, they even said it
The
back.
Nielsen ratings.
Well, they even said it back when we were kids. They would say, this show sponsored by, and they would tell you who's sponsoring that show. And they paid everything for that show. Sometimes they were the only advertisement on that show because they sponsored the whole show. Now they've diversified it, and it's an outrageous amount of money to be a controlling interest in sponsoring a show. It's huge. All I'm saying is that these drug companies can afford it. They own the legacy media channels. I'm not saying they tell them what to say, but they own the big programs. And if you cut them off, these people are going to be running and trying to find new sponsors. They're going to try to get BMW. They'll try to get Ford. They'll try to get Chevy. They'll try to get McDonald's. I mean, all of a sudden, you'll see Greg Gutfeld sponsored by Burger King. They're going to get wherever the money is, or everyone's salaries are going to drop, or there's programs that are going to go away.
You know what? I'm kind of okay with that.
Because there are, well, just think about it.
I'm kind of okay with that.
If Pharma comes in and runs a show and says, we're going to pay $100 million for this show, and Big Pharma gets cut, what if they can't find another sponsor at $100 million? What if they come in and they find a sponsor at $30 million? That's $70 million that gets cut from that show. There's a lot of people out of work.
I think there's just too many stations out there, television stations in the world. But that's just me.
Well,
too many choices.
57 channels and nothing on, as Bruce Springsteen used to
say. Pick up a book and read.
Well, I'm just saying, at the moment, I am not for cutting, and I hate these things. At the moment, I'm not for cutting them out.
Oh, I am.
You just would kill a big part of the economy, a big part of what's going on. You can't just, they can't.
Pick a different ad, but don't do drugs. Don't do.
But what if, that's my thing, is what if they can't? What if they can't get the numbers and then they say, hey, there's not enough money here. We can't do, Sean Hannity doesn't have enough support now, so now he can't be on the air anymore because no advertiser's willing to pay $400 million to be part of his show. It was just Big Pharma. They were the only ones who wanted to and could afford it. Now he's gone, or whoever. And it could be on CNN. It could be on MSNBC. I'm just saying, you're walking a fine line. There is all I'm saying. I hate these ads, but I don't know that I'm in favor of regulating it to where they cut them out. I don't think they're doing any harm other than they piss me off. That's all I'm saying. All right. So, boy, we sure got stuck on that topic for a long time. Where was I? There was more stuff. Okay, this is another one of the discussions like the three-wheeler where people send me stuff and we start talking about it. And this has to do with the 60s. And these are things that were just related to the 60s. Only in the 60s did you see this. This was a trend only in the 60s. This is 60s stuff. All right. I got a few of these things and we'll discuss them real quick. One of them was sleeping in the back window. Now, I got to tell you, I don't know if this was a 60s thing or not. I don't think I have never slept in the back window of a car.
Bet you the Sun Valley Fox has.
I have not. Have you? Have you ever slept up there? I don't remember doing it.
I do not recall.
I don't think my parents or my grandparents would have allowed me to. They'd say, lay down on the seat. I don't think they would. I mean, I guess it'd be nice and warm up there. But I never remember sleeping up there going down the road.
There's people that said they have.
I've never even seen it. I don't think I've ever even.
I bet you that would be nice and warm up there.
That's what.
That looks so comfy.
I literally just
I know
said
you
that.
did, but I'm like looking at it going, that kid is just sawing logs.
Yeah. Now,
I love sleeping in the car.
And no shit. You get in the car like, we're going on this road trip. I'm with you, husband and wife, best friends, partners forever. Let's get on the road and get some food and get going. And in 30 minutes, you are sawing logs. You are wrapped up in your blanket. You got your neck pillow. You got the seat heaters on. You're tilted back just right.
I'm good to go for a couple hours.
Yeah, for sure. You're going the other way.
Cuts that trip down by half.
Not for the driver. Not for the jabroni you got driving.
Hey, you say you don't want me to drive, so there you go.
No, I don't want you to drive. I'd like you to be a co-pilot. I'd like to have a little conversation. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. So I think
you can go listen to the pharmaceutical ads.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get stuck listening to the pharmaceutical ads on the radio. I think I've seen a cat do this. I might have seen a cat do that one time. So I don't know. Maybe this was just a 60s thing because I never did it in the 70s. Don't remember seeing it in the 80s. That's one out of the way. They talked about the 60s. The kids were left home alone. That was a 60s thing. I'm like,
I was left home alone.
Yeah, that was a 70s thing. That was an 80s thing. And I'm pretty sure that was a 90s thing, too.
I spent summers home alone.
Okay, so see, I don't think the 60s can take the claim on all that one. What's another one? Here's one. In the 60s, we used to cool down in the hot summers with fire hydrants. Okay.
Not in California.
Not in L.A. No. L.A. County, first of all, we were never allowed to touch. If a regular person touched a fire hydrant, you were going to jail or you were getting a ticket. We couldn't do this. We couldn't just take wrenches and turn this shit on. But I do remember seeing this all over the place in movies and in TV, but it was always on a TV series or a movie that was in New York or Boston or something like that. So
Chicago.
Did you guys get to do this on hot summer days? Could you just crack open a fire hydrant, put one of those deals on there and crack open the valve and let I don't know. I never in my life no. We had to run through sprinklers. We had to sneak over to someone's house when they weren't home and turn on their sprinklers and then run through their sprinklers and turn them off before they got home. That was it. Or you had a friend who had a swimming pool. We weren't allowed to do anything like this. So I'm asking you guys, was this a thing in other places? Because I never remember doing it. Don't just say it was. If it was just 60s, it was 60s someplace else, not with me.
Nah, people are saying nope. They had creeks and ponds, yard sprinklers. Nobody's saying...
Yeah, but you see it in the movies. You see kids playing in the movies in them, but it's just never... It's always big cities back east. I don't remember doing it. All right. Here's another one. This is gone. This is under 60s gone. No, I don't see anymore. Hitchhiking. I have hitchhiked quite a bit. I've hitchhiked all over. Wild Bill once told me, says, you ever want to get picked up in the morning, you're hitchhiking, you got to get someplace? He says, make sure you got a Levi jacket on and have one of those black lunch pails. Remember the black lunch pails with the green thermos inside? You get a black lunch pail. He goes, Wild Bill said, just get a black lunch pail and make sure your jacket's on. And get on the side of the road, put your thumb out. Got your lunch pail in your hand. They're going to pick you up. It don't matter. He's full of weed. It'd be full of weed. But you get picked up because somebody's going to stop and say, hey, there's a guy just trying to get to work. There's a guy just trying to feed his family. That guy's got a lunch pail. That guy's trying to get to the job, get things done. He's a good American. Pick him up, give him a ride, do your thing, up and down, left and right, back and forward. That's what Wild Bill used to say. But who hitchhikes now? I never see anybody hitchhiking anywhere. And you and I have taken some relatively long trips in the western United States.
It's illegal to be on the highways, I think, now.
Well, you can't be in California. You can't be, I think it's like 20 yards up the on-ramp. You're not allowed to be past that. You can hitchhike. You just can't be up the on-ramp or on the highway. But down below the on-ramp, if you're like within the first 20 yards, they let you stand there. But I don't see people doing it anymore. I mean,
they're saying there's too many freaks nowadays out there.
I guess, but they just don't do it. I got to go along with this one. If this was a trend that started in the 60s, it went through to about the early 80s, but it's gone now. I don't know where it went, but it's gone now.
The Sun Valley Fox chimed in and said he had a water wiggle for the summer.
He did? Is that what his mom said it was? When he dropped his pants one day?
Yeah, because they didn't have the pool until either right before I came along or right after.
So when he dropped his pants and said, "Mama, what's this?" She goes, "That's your water
wiggle."
That's your water wiggle. Okay. I don't know. That's what happened.
Maybe that's what he says now till this day.
He goes,
"Let's play with the water wiggle."
Tell St. Donnie, want to see my water wiggle? Donna say, "I'd surprised if it wiggles at all anymore." Getting on in its years. All right, was another one they said was exclusively the 60s that as a kid you could be gone all day.
Raven said now it's a water wrinkle.
A water wrinkle. Who said that? Raven?
Ravens.
Oh, God. I'm sure glad Sun Valley Fox already committed to the quadrajet carburetors and the roofing in July.
He walked into that one.
Yeah, he did. Because I had a water wiggle. Want to see? Want to see my water wiggle? Want to see my water wiggle? Gone all day. That was a 60s thing, they say. That was what was sent to me with a long explanation in paragraphs. And I'm like, I was gone all day in the 70s, too. and in the early 80s, you could be gone as a kid as long as you, like, okay, to be fair.
We had to check in.
People say you got to be home when the streetlights are on. True, that's a Gen X thing. But I had boundaries. When I was like 8, 9, and 10, my mom would say, she'd pick a street. She goes, 3 streets away. Okay, you can go to Blythe or Keswick or Satakoy. You can go to the, you can go. I had streets that I knew even at 8 years old, and I could not go past them.
Yeah, I did too.
And then as I got older, I got to be 11, 12, 13. I'm riding my bike. She didn't care where I went. She just said, be back by dinner time. Be back when the streetlights came on. So we could literally go across the valley. We go 12 miles away.
Do you remember like checking in? Like I remember being far from home and you'd have to find a payphone and just check in, just call and make sure.
At first I had to be home to check in. I had to leave the front door and go, Mom, I'm home, checking in. But boy, when I was allowed to call home, that extended my range.
Oh yeah.
I could go far with that. Yeah. So we used to do that. I don't think this was, I think by the 90s this was gone. I don't think by the 90s and beyond parents would let their kids be out of their sight. Too many helicopter parents at that point. They stood right over them. They said this was strictly 60s. Now, if I remember right, this is one of those fondue pots.
Hold on. Sun Valley Fox checking in.
Sun Valley Fox checking in.
Ow, he says, I'm going to take a picture of it. You'll see.
Don't send it. Don't send it.
Sorry.
I don't want to see the picture of the water wiggle. Not wrinkle.
I have a fondue pot right now.
You have one now?
Yeah, I just offered it to Jade if she wanted it. It doesn't look like that.
Okay, I know this was a trend in the 60s. But by the late 70s, early 80s, these were at yard sales for $1.
No, I was introduced to them when I was a teenager.
Everybody was giving these things away at every yard sale for $1. I mean, they flooded the market with so many brands, cheap ones, expensive ones. I guess my mom had one. Did they do cheese, right?
Well, you can do a chocolate fondue. Or a cheese. I was introduced to a cheese fondue, and I thought that was the greatest thing in the whole wide world.
Well, you're going to have to fire it up when we get to Mendon.
And I've done that. I've done that with the kids a few times. We did it for New Year's Eve one time.
Oh, where was I?
You
Asleep?
were here?
Too tired from working all day? Yeah, I got you. Well, anyway, I don't think this was strictly a 60s trend, but this was given to me like, this was 60s. It belongs in the 60s. It's from the 60s, and it was strictly
That's probably when
60s.
It started.
I would guess. Now, these right here.
By the way, we also had it on the cruise that we took.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. These are go-go boots. I guarantee these were in the 60s. They belong in the 60s. They stayed in the 60s. They were in the 60s. I got a picture of my mother.
I have a picture with me in those.
Brig's grandmother, wearing some a little higher than that with a purple and white polka dot dress looking just about like this. And I'm like, oh, my God. Yeah.
Mary and I had those for cheerleading.
Mary Matheson, you did?
Yeah.
Wow.
We wore those.
Well, they're go-go boots, and someone's going to say, hey, these are 60s, man. They belong in the 60s. They stay in the... You fucking keep them. Keep them right there, buddy. I'm okay with that. And there's many, many, many reasons. Now, this one can get there can be a little argument here on this one. Tang. They're like, that is rock solid 60s. Okay.
I don't like that.
Let me tell you why. This was billed out, and Sun Valley Fox, I'm sure, will concur, as you do, as one does, one concurs, that this was astronaut food. That's how they sold it. Because in the 50s, every kid wanted to be a cowboy, wanted to be Marshall Dillon, wanted to be part of Bonanza, you wanted to be the rifleman, you wanted to be Howdy Doody, you wanted to be Davy Crockett, and it was all the wild, wild west. Okay, that was the late 40s and early 50s. By the time we get to the 60s, every kid wanted to be an astronaut. Every kid was outer space. Everybody wanted to be John Glenn. Everything was pushing that. And Tang was the drink of the astronaut. And everybody had it in every house. Now, come along the 70s, we've gone from cowboys to astronauts. The 70s and 80s, you really were trying to find new things. And there was more superhero stuff coming out then. But Tang was around still all the way through the 70s, but I didn't like it.
Yeah, but did you look at that thing right there? That thing is a net weight of 5.5 pounds, and it makes 5 gallons of Tang.
Yeah.
That is, what the heck?
Hey, the astronauts had to pack a lot of water on the Apollo missions to mix it. I'm just telling you.
That's like a brick.
Well, just so you guys know,
I don't think Tang was in our house.
Tang was maybe born and solidified in the 60s because of the space program. Won't deny that. But by the 70s, it was just an annoying powder drink that was in my household that I didn't care for. You know, and when you go to see your friend's house and their mother says, "Are you boys thirsty?" "Yeah." "You want some Tang?" "No, we do not want Tang at all." If Tang was that good, they would have sold it on ice cream trucks.
I think we were more into High C too, weren't we?
Yeah, High C or Minute Maid was another one. They were talking about this being this is a 60s picture from the 60s, transistor radio. All right, listen, transistor radios were for anybody when they first came out. 50s would have been great, but they were too expensive for kids. But by the 60s, prices had come down. Kids were carrying them everywhere. By the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, in the mid 70s, we would have these things sitting while we played baseball in the street. We'd have a transistor radio.
I still have one.
Right there on the curb, on the sidewalk, lay it on the grass, and we play. Also, you know where these things turned out to be really good at? Dodger Stadium. Because you could hear the broadcast of the game play-by-play right here. So everybody, there's pictures, and you go look at some pictures out in the audience, out in the arena at Dodger Stadium or any stadium back in the mid-70s, and everybody's doing this because you could hear the game. I don't think that...
Here in California, that is one of my earthquake preparedness things, is a transistor radio.
I believe that.
Because cell phones could go out. There's so many things
I even have two in the garage in a box that you wind up for power. You don't even have to have a battery. You wind it up.
People don't think about that stuff anymore. If the world went to shit, there's no electricity or anything.
That's true. If the world goes to shit, I'm one of the few that's going to hear about it because I have a wind-up radio and you don't. So I'm going to say no. This wasn't a 60s thing. I think these came out before the 60s. I think you guys just had a lot of them because they dropped in price. I think that goes everywhere. Pause on this for a second. Got to ask you a question. If you saw this next face at a movie theater, someone buying a ticket, you saw this face, would you give them a discount because they were a young child or a senior citizen? I'm just asking. Is this 5 and under, get a discount, or is this over 50, getting a discount? Just take this picture and tell me what you think. I'm just asking what your opinion is. This is a very confusing picture to me, but then again, when I received this, I was 3 sheets to the wind, and it was a lot more hectic to try to decipher at that moment. I think this could go either way. If you're at a movie ticket and you're trying to figure out what this is, well, maybe I'd go by height. Maybe I'd throw in the height factor also. Just saying. But that one kind of schooled me the wrong way. Here's another one too. This right here, these things come
Star Roberts said it's a kid trying to get a senior discount.
It's a kid trying to get, yeah. This one's a good one. These things come up all the time. Start your own business with curbing. And normally I don't give a shit about ads. We were talking about advertising for a long time, a little bit ago on the show. But do you notice something about this ad? With these guys pouring this curbing, get your own little curbing device here, get your own little mixer. And we are using this this is a live action. And if you look at the commercial for this, that's what they try to tell you. They try to tell you this guy's backing up like one step. Look at me. I'm using this right now. Look how perfect the curbing is coming out with this tool. Except for some reason, I was drunk and I looked at it a little closer. There's nothing fucking in the hopper. It's perfectly clean. It's not dirty at all. There hasn't been shit in there. And there certainly hasn't been shit in there and he's pouring that fucking curb. Now, I know advertising's full of liars, but this guy's a particular asshole when he's trying to do the commercial. Says, look right here. And he's moving, and he moved the camera pans for one, and his fucking... Now, okay, maybe I'm the only one who gets this. Fuck it, I'll move on. Sorry. But that makes sense.
No, there's people that are agreeing with you.
There's a couple dudes out there, a couple guys going, yeah, motherfuckers. Yeah, okay. But other than that, whatever. All right, so we're winding down the show. We're getting towards the end here. Please don't forget Go check out the podcast. Last podcast was with the kid and I. And told you it was in the brief time when my wife was taking the wheel, trying to figure out how to steer the boat. And when she gave it back, then she'll be on the next podcast. But she missed that one, so Briggs and I did it. I did send out Patreon. Oh, that's a terrible picture. I sent out Patreon to all you guys that are on Patreon. Good moderators can put that link up there. It's $1. Not only do you get an email just saying, hey, we're going on. We don't sell you anything. We don't do anything with the email other than we let you know. There's two things that happen when you're part of Patreon. You get an email that says, hey, we're going live or we're doing something, and you get 4.5 years of behind the scenes stuff that's still up. Pay $1 and go back and look. Look, $1 really helps us out. So if you got an extra $1, go scrounge up the quarters and dimes and nickels under your couch and put them in the machine and give us $1 and quit your fucking crying about it. We do tip the dancing bear, as they say. That's all we're asking. Also, one of the new things we put up on the store was a Mrs. 4 Watt and shot glass. It's one of my favorite ones. I'm always going to pump that up and let you guys know when it's out there. Good moderators going to put up a link to the store of new stuff up goes every week. We're going to start linking that store to some places. We haven't done it yet. And the last one that I wanted to bring up was Casino Night. Casino Night's a big night. Coming soon. We haven't got it figured out yet, but when we do, we'll let you know. Gen X Mom.
John Morgan is asking about larger sizes in T-shirts. We're looking for a vendor that does those shirts in larger sizes, so please be patient with us.
Okay.
It's coming.
And let me help you out with that, too, because I'm learning this process as I go. When we go on there to a company, like you can use different vendors with Shopify, there's different places that fulfill the orders. Printful, Printify, Gelato. Okay. So I go to Printify and it says, would you like to make a man's t-shirt or a woman's t-shirt or a unisex t-shirt? One of the things I look at is how many sizes are available. Sometimes they'll say small to 3X. All right. That covers quite a bit. Some go to 4X. That's about it. And when I pick those, I'm just letting you guys know, when I pick the suppliers that have the most options for sizes, they seem to be kind of shittier shirts. People have bought a couple and tried some things out and said, okay, it's all right. It doesn't feel that great. So I try to organize these things by just using what they call premium vendors. And they have a section for that. And when I go into premium clothing, premium vendors, it gives me a list of we do this, we do men's, we do women's, we do unisex, we do tank tops, we do hoodies, and they're all premium clothing. Okay, so it costs a little more. I got you on that. It's about $5 or $6 more, but I think we'd all be willing to pay it for a better shirt. The problem is once I do that, the sizes and the colors disappear. Then I'm down to small to 2X. And instead of having 17 colors, I've got a choice of 8 colors. I'm just letting you know, I've been looking into this. If you go to the choices that have more options, they seem to be lesser quality. We got a shirt today. Chris Disney Kid on staff sent us a harem shirt, which I don't have in here. A harem shirt is a very inexpensive shirt. It was a tank top that we put out there. It was a girl's harem shirt. I'm part of the general's harem. It was black with pink lettering, but it doesn't look so good. I know it's only like a $12 shirt. It looks like a $12 shirt. Now, it's okay. It's a novelty thing, and you get one. You can wear it around the house and wear it to bed and have a good time thinking of me, which you should. It's okay. Live a little bit. But to get something nicer costs more. I'm letting you guys know we're still working on it. We're doing the best we can, but the bigger sizes seem to come with lesser quality, just so we've already been down that road. All right.
Can I finish with the sheets?
Please.
Also, just so you guys know, as of this moment, there is no jukebox show for tonight. The kid and Addie are out on a date right now currently. They went out to dinner, and then we have to finish packing for tomorrow. So, as far as I know, no jukebox show, correct?
No jukebox show tonight.
Okay. Spineless Wonder Boner, member for 8 months. Oh my God, 8 months already? Man, I'm surprised you all have not kicked me out yet. Love you guys.
We try, but for some reason, they just keep letting you back in. We've tried.
John Morgan says Mike Perkins is the $2 hoe.
He is the $2 hoa.
Scott Royston, $2. Am I the hoe?
No, Scott, it's Mike.
Chris Wilson, member for 20 months, rolled it at least 10 times before trading for a quad. They're going back to the...
Yeah, the 3-wheeler. I'm telling, that was very common. He's not kidding. 10 times, that's totally common. Even when you're not trying to, you turn, momentum just takes you over. He's not wrong on that.
T-Bone76 gifted 5 memberships this evening.
Thanks, T-Bone.
Sovereign Fighter, $5. If it is a well-crafted show, people will watch regardless of the commercials.
I think so too. I watch shows that I enjoy watching, even though I hate those fucking shitty pharmaceutical commercials. And I've never once gone to Dr. McDreamy and said, hey, man, I took a screenshot. I just saw this on TV. I think this would work for me. I would never be presumptuous to tell him his job, ever.
Proud to be an American, gifted 1 membership tonight. Thank you so much. Proud to be American, $5. You and your family epitomize the America we should strive for. Thank you for the sanity you provide in a world of madness. You're a national treasure.
Well, thank you. Now, remember, he was talking to me.
Sue Prov, $5. Nancy Sinatra would be disappointed about the boots. Yeah, I heard. Don
National
Kimball.
treasure. Say it with me. National. You're not even
what
trying.
You needed. Nope,
you're not saying it.
Nope.
You're not even trying.
Nope.
Nancy Sinatra would be disappointed because the boots were her thing. That's true.
Don Kimball and Clint Holmes are extras tonight on YouTube. They just joined our...
Couple extras joining tonight. Appreciate that.
Can you do a quick open on the box there from...
I certainly can. In the mail, we got some travel things from Disney Kid, Chris Sugar, along with the shirt that I just mentioned that I had, I did have Gen X Mom try on the shirt, but it didn't fit. And I really didn't think you guys want to see a shirt on a chick that didn't fit, boobs hanging out and poking. It's unsavory. So I didn't show you guys that. But Chris knows we're traveling. Disney Kid, a staff member here with Gen X Talks and Cali Cat. They sent us traveling little fish game. Remember that little fish pole fish game? The fuck is this thing called? Pocket travel, wind up fishing. Well, whatever. The fishing game. You guys know what that is. But that's what we got for that. That's one of them. And here's another one. I'm not going to open this because, Chris, I don't know what discs you sent with this, but if you sent me a Viewmaster, if any of these are homemade, I'm going to be a little disappointed. I don't need to see what you look like when you get out of the shower. I know you want to trick me to click. Oh, what the fuck is that? No. I'm not opening that, Chris. Nice try. Asshole. What else is there? Reaching into my magic bag of tricks. There's a little thank you card. There's more stuff in here. Did I leave something over there? No, I think I got it all. Road Trick Game Kit includes 8 games. I haven't opened it yet, but I'm assuming there's some kind of card. Oh, on the back it shows Hangman. Road games, like you check things off as you see them. So there's 8 games in here. It'll really be useful when I'm driving, Chris. Thanks a lot. You know that I'm driving all the time. Got to keep my hands on the wheel. Got to focus on the road. But you want me to be playing fish. You want me to be looking at the Viewmaster. So when the cop asks me what the fuck happened, I can go, you got to see this. And I'll hand the cop the Viewmaster. Everything will be good, right, Chris? Not a chance. And then a magnet. Welcome to the shit show. Admit one. I'm glad this is in pink because in light of recent events, I'm handing this to your queen, Gen X Mom. She is the one who produces the shit show around here. She fucks everything up, and I, your gracious and wonderful host, come in and smooth things over, lift everybody back up to a place of conscious righteousness, and continue carrying us, the entire show and the entire family, in a backpack down the road. Somebody pat me on the back and call me handsome. Appreciate that. I said it all with a straight face, and you couldn't stop me. What else we got, dear?
That is it at the moment. I will double check one more time.
Look one more time.
It is clean.
Are we done? The lights are green. The trap is clean. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening in. Not sure where you're chiming in from around the planet, AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps you tuned in on the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember 2 things in this world. Wherever you go, there you are. And number 2, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. And I'm out.